When I was studying for the SAT back in high school, I had no idea what I was doing. I was trying this, I was trying that. I eventually got a perfect score, but it just took me way longer than it should have. And after tutoring for 11 years,
all right guys, today we're gonna talk about how you can maximize your SAT score.
Just recorded the whole thing without realizing that the recording button wasn't on the camera. So let's try this again.
I essentially figured out what I think is the best way to study for the SAT. And today I want to give you guys 4 of my best tips so that you guys can reach your target score quickly, successfully, without having to make the mistakes that I have made. And if it's your first time here, my name is John. I've been an SAT math tutor for the past 11 years, and my specialty is taking a student who's currently in 400, 600 range to 700 plus by their next SAT through online program, SAT Math Accelerator, link in the comments. So my very first tip is for you to hire a tutor. And some of you guys might be thinking, what the hell, John? This is not what I came for. This is not what I'm gonna do. I'm not gonna hire you. Are you kidding me? Okay, so first of all, my calendar is full until next January, so I can't even work with you. And second, I used to think the exact same way. But only after I was done with the SAT and I was already in college, that's when my perspective completely changed, and here's why. So when I was in high school in 9th grade, my parents signed me up for this SAT Hagwon, which is like a Korean word for SAT Preparation Academy, also known as the SAT Prep Prison, because you have to go there from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Saturday. And that's essentially what everybody was doing in my community. Price-wise, and it cost about $1,800, $2,000, which is about equivalent to $3,000, $4,000 now. So I told my parents, guys, look, this is ridiculous. We're not paying $2,000 so that I can go to a place and someone reads off of the textbook. I can figure this all out. You guys just have to trust me. So somehow I was able to convince them. In reality, I just didn't want to go there like 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Saturday, bro. That's like worse than school. Bruh. So instead, I went to the library from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. I guess it's a little bit better. So over the summer, I went through a bunch of these SAT prep books, and after 3 months of prepping on my own, my score didn't go up. And my parents, furious. It wasn't probably for another year and a half until I figured out how to study for the math section, understand what the exam is all about, and eventually get a perfect score. And the problem there is that, you see, when you're trying to go from 500 to 800, right? When you're trying to go from point A to point B, there are multiple ways to get there. And the fastest way to get there is by going through a straight line. But the problem that I had without a tutor is that I was trying this, I was trying that. I had no idea what I was doing, and eventually got to the destination, and it took way longer than it should have. And how a tutor can help you with this is that they're gonna come in and tell you exactly what you need to do because they have gone through the process just multiple times. And with me and my students, no matter what your current score is, whether it be 400, 600, or 700 plus, and you're trying to get to the perfect score, whatever it is, I know the exact set of problems that you're facing, I know the exact set of solutions, and I know exactly what you need to do to solve those problems and get to your target score. And if you're studying for the SAT, this is a quick tip. If you're using Khan Academy and you're currently in 400, 600 range, you're making a big mistake. Because the purpose of Khan Academy is to give you guys a set of practice questions ranging from level 1 to level 4. But if you're currently in 400, 600 range, you shouldn't be doing practices, you should be learning the concepts. Instead of doing percent questions, you first have to understand how percent works. But most people are slaving away on Khan Academy, doing all these practice questions without having full understanding of the concept, and they're wondering, why is my score not going up after 2 months of preparation? You're essentially going like backwards. You don't want to do that. The biggest time waster on the SAT is that students are doing the wrong things at the wrong time, and they have no idea that they are doing it wrong. But if you have a trustworthy and reliable tutor that you can work with, then that person can guide you through the whole process and get you there as quickly as possible. So essentially, tutor's job is to save you time, and because time is the most valuable asset, like the old people say, this is especially true in high school because you only have limited time, and you have to divide that time up well and apply it towards SAT, GPA, extracurriculars, essay, and all the different parts of application. So use your time wisely. And the second tip is for you to focus on one thing at a time. SAT has this thing called super scoring. And how it works is that, let's say you take SAT twice, right? First time, you did amazing on the reading and writing section, but you poo-pooed out on the math section. But on the second exam, you poo-pooed out on the reading and writing section, but you did amazing on the math section. And when colleges look at your application, what they see is not the total score for each exam, but the highest score from each section, and they create a super score from those 2 exams. And what this means is that you don't have to try to get the highest score for both sections at the same time. Because the exam itself is about 4 hours long, and we already know that our brain's not cut out for that. Oh, you can focus for 4 hours? It's just me? Well, you know what? That's good news because not every colleges are going to take super scoring. The only two major exclusions are going to be one, the top Ivy League schools, and two, the California schools like UCLA, Berkeley, Stanford, USC. If it's in California system, they're not going to take super scoring. But other than that, 99% of the schools are going to take it. So instead of trying to catch both reading and math section at the same time, simply focus on one section at a time, maximize it, and move it, get it out of the way, and then move on to the next section. Be strategic about it. And tip number 3 is to live in a reality. This always happens about 2-3 weeks before the next SAT. I get a bunch of emails saying, John, I'm currently at 1100 and I got 2 weeks left and I need 1500 on the exam day. What do I need to do? I can get it done. Just tell me what I need to do. So to be straight with you, 400-point jump in 2 weeks is just not possible. If someone tells you that they can do that for you, send me his email because I need it too. One of the main reasons that people get stressed out on SAT is that they set up unrealistic expectations. On average, for my students, it takes about 2 months to go from 500 to 700 plus on the next SAT. If you realize that it's going to take you about 2 months to see any significant improvement in your score, then let's say you don't see any improvements after 2-3 weeks of preparation. Instead of getting stressed out and getting disappointed and wanting to give up and go work at McDonald's, you're going to tell yourself, hey, this is completely normal. This is exactly what is expected. I just need to chip away at the work that I need to do, and eventually I'll get the target score I need. Instead, if you give yourself 2 weeks and your score doesn't go up in 2 weeks, then you're going to tell yourself a bunch of crazy things like, why am I so stupid? Why is SAT so hard? This is messed up. This is not fair. And this complaining gets you nowhere. So do realize that it's going to take you some time and have the correct expectation, and your journey is going to be less painful. And the last tip, and this is my personal favorite, and that is you are like a boat. Are you serious, John? Are you calling me fat right now? No, let me explain. So let's say that you are on a boat and you're going on a straight line. And let's say you make a 5-degree turn, which is like a very small turn. At the moment, you're not gonna really feel anything. You feel like nothing has changed or life is going the exact same way. But after about 1, 5, 10 years of going on that boat, you realize that because of that 5-degree shift, your boat is going on a completely different direction. The choices that you make today may seem small now and you might not feel the difference, but in 1, 5, 10 years in the future, it's gonna have a major impact on you. And that's what high school is like. A high GPA you try to maintain today, the high score you're trying to get on the SAT, and not going out on the weekends and not partying and instead staying home and studying. All these things may seem negligible now, but it's gonna change the trajectory of your boat for the rest of your life. So you have to realize that there is actually a long life ahead of you outside of high school, and you want to focus on making long-term decisions instead of giving into the short-term pleasures. If you don't sacrifice for your goals will become the ultimate sacrifice. If you're studying for the SAT, hope to see you inside the accelerator, and I'll see you guys on the next video.